Okay, so now it's time to take a deeper look at your mechanical engineering template to determine what classes you should take this fall. So let's start by jumping right into the first semester. Within the first fall semester, you will find a science class, you'll find an engineering class, you'll find a 1 credit class, which is indicated right here. You're going to find a math class, and then you're going to find something called a Haas core elective. Haas stands for Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. So let's take a look at these classes in a little bit more detail. So first we have Chemistry 1. This course acts as a prerequisite for a class called Materials Science, which is in the spring semester. So if you don't have credit for Chemistry 1 coming into the Institute, I highly recommend that you enroll in Chemistry 1 the first semester. Second, we have Introduction to Engineering Analysis, or IEA as students refer to it. This is the first engineering-specific course you will take at Rensselaer. And one thing to note about IEA is even though it's placed in the first semester, it is acceptable as a mechanical engineer to postpone this course until the spring. In fact, there's one specific situation where it would be preferred that you wait to take IEA. Student feedback surveys indicate that some prior knowledge of Physics 1, which is over here, is helpful when navigating IEA. So if you did well in physics in high school, took AP or IB credits, then I highly recommend that you enroll in IEA in the fall. But if you are less than confident in your capabilities with physics, it's perfectly fine to replace IEA with Physics 1 in the next semester. Now we have Engineering, Graphics, and Cad. This is a 1 credit course students typically complete in their first year. In the event that this course does not work with your schedule, or if the course is full when you go to register, it is acceptable to enroll in Engineering 1400 as opposed to 1200, which is called Engineering Communications. It's an acceptable substitute that's referenced in the footnotes in the bottom of the template. Alternatively, you can also swap engineering processes, which is engineering 1300, with graphics and CAD. So what that would mean is we're just going to swap the two courses. You would take processes in the fall and you would take CAD in the spring. So these sequencing of courses don't really matter. So whatever fits with your schedule best is what you would ultimately do. Then we always want you to take a math course in your first semester. So if you don't have any credit for Calculus 1 would be what you would enroll in since our curriculum begins with that course. If you do have credit for Calc 1, Calc 2 would be moved over to the fall semester. Lastly, it's recommended that you take a Haas class in your first semester. In this guide, there's a segment that discusses all the Haas requirements for your class year, so be sure to check that out. And I also recommend that you look into IHSS prefixed courses in Haas because that is a requirement that needs to be completed before the end of your first year. So if you get it done in your first semester, it gives you some flexibility later on with Haas electives. So now let's talk about what you should do if you come to Rensselaer with AP, IB, or transfer credits. If you anticipate bringing any of these credits to Rensselaer, you will find yourself moving through the mechanical curriculum a little faster. I'm going to discuss a couple of scenarios and offer suggestions on what to register for if you have credit for the courses listed on the template. In the hub, I generally print out this template and I cross off the completed courses. So that's what I'm going to do here. You can do the same or use your computer editing software to highlight completed courses, really whatever works for you. So going back, as we discussed before, if you had credit for Calc 1, I would still suggest enrolling in a math class. So we would cross Calc 1 off the template and we would focus on Calculus 2, which is over here. Now, if you also had credit for Calculus 2, we would cross that off, and then we would resort to the third semester for the math class. And the math class that's listed in the third semester is Introduction to Differential Equations. So that would be the acceptable math course to enroll in if you had credit for both Calc 1 and Calc 2. If you have physics credit, as we talked about before, I would definitely enroll in IEA. And if you had chemistry credit, that's something else we can cross off the template, which we'll do right now. And this would give you the choice to move over a course from the spring semester to take its place. Now, I always recommend, if you look here, the number of credits, a 16 or 17 credit semester, because that's going to prevent you from falling behind in the curriculum. So looking at spring, we have materials science, which requires chemistry 1 as a prerequisite. So if you have chemistry already, we could easily move materials science over to that first semester. We can also move over Physics 1 if that's a course that you don't have credit in. So those two would be choices for you to move. If you have AP credit in a Haas course like history or government or anything like that, English, I still recommend that you take a Haas class, but I really want you to focus more on that IHSS piece, because that would be another course that we would need to complete, and that would be a good time to do it with Haas credits. So I think that's it for now. The most important thing for you to remember moving forward is that we can always make adjustments to your schedule as the semester begins. So I don't want you to put too much stress into planning, but remember also the most important thing here is that I'm here to help you. So as you're going through this, if any questions come up, I want you to reach out.